and welcome to Phoenix TV Extra. Well, you didn't expect to hear from me or anybody else so soon after our last signings, but there's just been some breaking news come out from English Ice Hockey Towers, and I thought, well, I've not put him on the spot so far this summer. He's just come back from a holiday, so may as well ask Neil what's going on. Hi Neil.
Hi, how are you doing?
Suntanned, bronzed, is this...
Just a little bit of a breakaway, but I think everybody realises that unfortunately they don't get away from it. I've still been doing a couple of hours a day and torturing and tormenting everybody, but yeah, breaking news, and news that I think most of us were aware of. I know that at points before now, I've actually talked about this over the summer. Most of us expected this for next season, to be honest, and not for this season, but as you know, that there's been certain elements of the EPIHL saying that there are countries that are underperforming on developing junior players for the future. I gather we're one of those countries that's been highlighted, which is fine, and I don't think is any shock to anybody, because remember when you put in a world globe, you're up against countries that have a rink on every corner. We don't have a rink on every corner, Jim. Everybody knows the story. Ice time is very difficult to get. You know, we're not a massive country when it comes to producing players, but I think most of us realise, and there's been now for the last 2 years a big effort with coaches. You know, senior coaches like Tony Hand is now taking a big part in constructing and helping coach the junior coaches, and the junior coaches coaching junior players, and we're all trying very hard to make this thing work now, where we've got youngsters coming in at a certain level who play their career coming up, and they get a good opportunity to get into the EPIHL. I think the problem has been is there is still in most people's opinion, too big a gap in this jump from NIHL to EPIHL. And it's been very difficult. I mean, unfortunately, people criticise us for it, but you've seen with Tony that, you know, he's really only playing these youngsters to give them an opportunity 5 minutes of the last period. And the reason being is that until that point, the game has been maybe 2-1, 3-2. He's waiting until maybe there's a 2-goal difference. Try not to put them under too much pressure. Try not to lose the game when we're playing for the league. Very quickly, what's happened is they've now decided to do a cross-cup development programme, which effectively means that there will be some cup games this year that will involve the NIHL teams. Now it's probably going to be, I don't know, 3 of the top teams from the north with the northern teams, maybe 3 or 4 teams in the south with the southern teams, and we've all agreed to play them on a like-for-like basis. And what that basically means, Jim, is that if in the north the NIHL teams will play no imports, we will play no imports, but the rule which has come from the IHA, which I think is the great thing here, is that you have to replace those imports with under 21 players. So, right. So what's actually going to happen now is whether we like it or not, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, and I just want to see it, I think it's exciting, is we're going to see under 21 players on the ice for 3 periods against very similar opposition in the NIHL. And I think that's going to be really good. I think you know, it's not going to be very many games, unfortunately. You know, it's probably only going to be 3 games, 3 home games or something, that we get to see these youngsters and see how they can perform. But I think that it's probably, and this is a guess, you know, for Tony and I, we've discussed about this. We're probably going to make these 4 laddies academy players, and then we're probably going to try and make sure that they can step up and down between their NHL team during the season. And I think after these 3 games, where it ends up, maybe it's probably 6, 3 home, 3 away. I think these lads will be in a state to be able to play with us. I think that will give them, you know, what with training and what with Tony, I think it'll give them an opportunity to be out there for us and getting quite a lot of ice time, Jim. So, you know, I personally think this is going to be good.
I think the big difference from it is that it's going to be in a competitive environment.
A very competitive environment.
It's not a case of, yeah, it's a pre-season friendly. You know, I remember going up and watching Braehead take on Blackburn when they first joined the Elite League. And I think it was something like 11-12 or 13-1 or something like that, which really gave nobody any joy whatsoever. But here, this is going to be closer. The NIHL teams will want to put on a good show, just to showcase their product. Absolutely. And show that they can take on what they perceive as the bigger boys, not the big boys, the bigger boys. And I think that with it replacing the gap that we have, unfortunately, with us losing a team from the league, that it gives us something else that is going to give us our Sunday hockey again. It's not going to be a break in the Sunday hockey. It's going to be good for the club, and also we'll some of us will get to see them on their own patch as well, which could be good.
For me to have young lads from an academy who are being taught directly by Tony, under Tony's influence, with their own coaches, I think would be great for us. And I think to get those youngsters out on the ice would be good. And I really don't think we're not going to have exciting games in the Dome. Honestly, I think, you know, for us it's probably going to be Billingham, Blackburn, I believe, and Solway that will join our group. You know, we're still up against Sheffield, and we're still going to be up against Telford. It's just when we play them, by the way, we go back to full strength. You can see what the IHA is doing.
Just looking at Blackburn will bring a good crowd down. They're quite a well supported club. They'll bring a good crowd down, and they will make a good atmosphere on that. The Mad Jocks up in Dumfries and Solway, they're just much the same. They won't bring so many, but they'll come down and they will welcome us up to their place. It's not going to be a Mickey Mouse Cup, which is something that a lot of people like to call it. It's not going to be that.
You won't get that with WIHF and the IHA being involved. You know, that they don't, with the greatest of respect, and some people won't agree with this, but they don't make these decisions lightly. And I think they've looked for a way of trying to enforce us helping with development. I think most of us have bought into this quite easily. It's an idea that's come along, and we just thought to ourselves, it gives our audience, it gives our fan base something different to watch. It gives us a little bit of a change, of which I think a cup should be a change. I'm not saying you should change your whole squad, but I think a cup should be a change, and I think it's a little bit more exciting for us all. But you know, let's be fair and say we've just got to make sure that we're doing apples for apples. So let's make sure that we're bringing together teams that are equally balanced. Now, you know, what's good is that I think the NHL teams that come in believe they're equally balanced. In the South, it may be slightly different. I haven't seen the final rules in the South, but the NIHL teams are asking. I think they believe their imports are as good as the Southern imports. So I think their rule, without checking, Jim, is they can have 2 imports but only one on the ice at once. So whatever happens there, the EPL boys will go along with it. They'll mirror it.
Of course, it will be on the season ticket.
Yes, it'll be. The cups, the cup games will be on the season ticket.
Season ticket.
They're not extras. There's nobody's got to shell any extra money out. It's all part of what we're doing. I think what we're going to see here, and do you know what? You'll hold me to this at the end of the season. I know you will, but I think we're going to see more homegrown players from Manchester on the squad permanently, because I just think this is the springboard we need. And for me, you don't have to, and this is serious, Jim, you know, you don't have to put mine and Tony's arm up our back to say, is this a good idea to develop British players? It's like we need to be committing to things. We need to be making a few changes. And I think, you know, we could talk about this for years. People have talked about how we change development of youngsters and how we bridge the gap since I got involved in it, but nobody's ever done anything. And I think that's the biggest problem, is there's a lot of talk but nothing's ever done. This time they're trying to do something, and I think everybody needs to get behind it at the end of the day. If it doesn't work, fine. It doesn't work.
We've tried.
But we tried it.
We've tried.
We tried it. And you know what? As long as that there is parity between the teams, there will be exciting games. And I think that's the important thing, is we always need parity.
Your old car, seen better days, given up the ghost? You need the friendly guys at Davidson's. One phone call is all you need. They'll collect your car for free, sort out that nasty paperwork, and transform your old banger into lots of lovely cash. Because Davidson's are extremely reputable and recommended by the DVLA. So for the best prices, cash on the spot, and to scrap your car with confidence, call us on 0161 928 9981.
Davidson's, we're talking scrap.
CNI Solutions, keeping your computer network infrastructure beating. Because if it stops, so does your business. We provide many unique ways of keeping your network running at its full potential, ensuring your company never misses a beat. CNI Solutions, keeping your computer network infrastructure beating.
Okay, just to round off this Phoenix TV Extra programme that we brought to you, I'm going to have a word with Neil just about our roster roundup, just how he thinks it's going with the ones that we've announced so far for the team to challenge and hopefully defend our title. Neil, Frankie, Michael and Robin coming back, that's got to be a major coup for the club.
Yeah, I think so. I think, I mean, it's always difficult to know what imports other teams are going to bring in, and I know a few of them are playing that very close to their chest, and they're going to attempt to do that last, I believe. But I think you've got 3 very good quality players there, and I think what Tony and I have learned over the years is that, you know, it takes a while for any import to get to know this league, and you mentioned earlier on in the conversation the amount of games expected them to play, and you know, it's not an easy sport. I mean, when you think about it, you do it. I don't do it as much. You know what, I do it very rarely with the guys, but you know what, 300 miles on a Saturday, and then they play hockey, maybe 5.5 hours on a coach, then they play hockey, and then 5.5 hours on a coach, come back, and then they go to bed and they get some rest, and then they come to the arena and they play again on a Sunday. And you know, that's a fairly heavy schedule. So I think having 3 imports that are tested and 3 imports that you know, I think is a very good thing. And you're the stat man, you tell me, but were those boys not somewhere near the top scorers in the league at the end?
We've got 3 out of the top 5.
3 out of the top 5,
and then
okay.
Just to add it in, just below that, we've got Mr. Hand. So I mean, what do you see? Another, you know, look at another 80 odd points again this season. It's just phenomenal. And Michael said off the record, and I'm sorry, Michael, I'm going to tell him what you said. He says, I know that if I get into position, Tony will find me with the puck, and he does on a regular basis. So fantastic.
Yeah. And I think this year as well, you know, Tony's looking, you know, to bring in some new fresh blood, as you know. There are a couple of Brits that we've not announced yet that we're just finalising contracts on. There's one we have announced in Adam that's been with us before, and I think Tony's looking to try, you know, and strengthen the team from a British perspective. And you know, him and I have not, you know, we sit down in about 4 weeks, 5 weeks time, and we look at the strength of the team at that point, and by that point we'll have found the last import. And then we'll decide on what part Tony plays in the team. You know, last year he wasn't going to play much, but ended up playing practically every game. You know, I can't make those expectations from him anymore, because it's asking too much from him. And you know what? I have never seen anybody who play as well as he plays, with the greatest of respect to his age, that's as fit as him. I wish I could do what he did, and he is amazing. But again, we need his coaching abilities bringing to the table, and from before, we need to start developing other players, and we need to start developing the club, and we need to start building that. And you know, although Tony has been integral to the team every year, and I'm sure if he plays this season, you know, that decision isn't been made, but I'm sure if he does play, and how he feels at the end of the summer when he skates and things, and I'm sure he'll still be integral. And you know what, maybe in 10 years time that guy can play and still be integral to a team. But I think he feels, and I feel, that you know, his future is in developing and coaching.
Well, I think looking at it, as I say, we've got the three imports back who were phenomenal last year. All made the All-Star team, so you know, definitely. Adam Walker, tried and tested at this level. He's been up, experience in the elite league, coming now back to our league. How he's going to be used, but Adam's a natural. If the puck gets to him, and we've got guys like Robin Kovar, etc., who can get the puck to him, and I think Adam will rack the points up. James Archer, well, we've got nothing.
I think just jumping in, I think the good thing with Adam as well, Adam's still what we call a multi-line player, so you can reverse that role as well. I think Adam's good at finding people and putting the puck on and reversing that role to somebody like, you know, whether Robin feeds him or he even plays with Robin. Yeah, I have no idea, by the way. We're just using it as an instance, but I think he's also quite good at putting the puck back on somebody else for a goal. So, you know, that's good. And as you went on to James Archer then, another multi-line player that can play both ways. You know, give me the puck and I'll slam it in the back of the net, and I'll go and get it out the corner for you, and I'll battle all day and all night, and I'll feed it to others. So, you know, don't think
he's just. There's not a lot you can say about James other than thank God he plays in a Phoenix shirt. Jack Watkins. A lot of promise last season.
Yeah, a lot of promise.
Wanted to come back, couldn't wait to come back. Jacob Heron, fantastic second half of the season when unfortunately injuries gave him his chance. And I thought he took it. I thought he took it well.
But don't you think that goes back to what we said before with developing these young players? And I'm sorry to go on about this, Jim, but it's opportunities and chances, and I think they'll all develop if a scenario is fabricated for them to get the opportunity to do so. And I think that's what we need to be doing with the league. And you know, young Jack has taken ice time and taken advantage of that ice time and developed it. Jacob is a great, for instance, you're absolutely right. He stepped in, he answered the call of people being injured. He stepped in, he took the ice time, and he developed. And I think he'll keep developing given that opportunity.
Neil, thanks very much for that.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
See you all shortly.
And don't forget, our shirt launch is coming up soon. It's on Sunday the 3rd of August at 5:30 in the Cresta Court Hotel. And just if you were wondering whether to come along or not, there will be 2 live signings at the event as well. So 2 exciting signings coming up at the shirt launch, Sunday the 3rd of August at 5:30 at the Cresta Court Hotel. It's always a good turnout, so get there early to get your seat.